I'm late for a very important date. I'm late for a very important date. It is the final round of matches in the Nations League. Who's going up? Who's going home? What's it going to look? Next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction show. Today we're taking a look at the final games in the 2020 Nations League. That's right, we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Nations League related, Bapper Novas related, football related. We're going to know here under Ruski. That's right, of course, earlier today or earlier, whatever, we just did the first batch of games for Matchday number 6 out in the Nations League. But today we wrap it all up in a dicky bow to see who's going up and see who's going home. That's right. Of course, these matches will be taking place on Wednesday, I believe. Is it Wednesday? Bloody Nora. So, yeah, be sure to get your picks in nice and early. But before then, a big shout out, of course, to the Patreon gang. I do appreciate the support you guys throw at me. It gives me a big old smile on my face, puts a big old cheeky grin on my face. It gives me the extra bit of oomph to keep on keeping on with the channel, especially through times like these where it's a lot of uncertainty around the world of football, around the world of life right now, with of course the funkiness that is the old COVID. So I do appreciate it. Big shout out to those patrons who are supporting the channel. And again, if you are interested in maybe becoming the latest member of the Brotherhood, there's a link down below. Check it all out, patreon.com/Roverseas. So let's jump in the deep end, of course, and take a look at how we all got on with the last batch of matches for these respective nations. Of course, if we can get into it now, then shall we jump into the deep end. Now, these matches did take place on Sunday, I believe. So here we go, folks. Here's the criteria once again, just in case you don't know. 0 to 6, you're in the shit-faced gang. 7 to 14, you're in the straight-faced club. 15 plus, you're in the top bins, lads. You're in the top bins. So here we bloody well go. Well, the first match was, of course, the Dutchies up against the Bosnia-Herzegovina out in League A Group 1. It was a 3-1 win for the Dutchies. Georgie Wijnaldum with a couple of goals there. He doesn't score many, does he? Memphis Depay's one score. She was Small, or Smally, or Smule, Perigovic on the score sheet for Bosnia-Herzegovina, and a 3-1 loss. Called it, lads. Got it bang on the nose. Bang on the bloody nose. Well done, me. Meanwhile, Italy against Poland, now in the same group, ended up as a 2-0 win. Bloody well caught that one bang on the nose as well. Jorginho for the penalty spot, and Domenico Berardi, as well as Jarek Kolieski got himself sent off for the Polskis as they tumbled on that one. We'll take a look at the situation in the group in a minute. Meanwhile, over in League A Group 2, it was Belgium against England. It was a comfortable win in the end, 2-0 win for Belgium. Actually, with a 3-1 win myself. Goal scorers on the day were Jules Tillman on the 10 minutes mark, with Dries Mertens wrapping it up on the 24th minute. I didn't really watch the game, to be honest with you, so I don't know how they played, but I think that's pretty much put their dreams of promotion, or at least get into that sort of semi-final, whatever it is, to toast. Next up, Denmark against Iceland. That ended up as a 2-1 win for the Danes. Christian Eriksen with a couple of penalties there, with Vilma Old Jansson on the score sheet for Iceland. I got that one bang on the nose. I just got that one bang on the nose as well. So ain't too shabby, pals. Next up, Romania against Norway was postponed. Went with the 2-0 win for Romania, but we'll have to wait and see if that ever will take place. I imagine if the whole Nations League is held up by that result. We'll have to see. Anyway, Austria against Northern Ireland. That was a 2-1 win for the Austrians. I actually went with a 2-0 win myself. Ain't too shabby. Josh McGuinness actually gave the Northern Irelanders a lead on the 74th minute, but Louis Schaab and Andrei Gerbic giving Austria the 2-1 win. 2 late goals there to smash up dash home. Of course, Scotland, of course, in the old Euros, but of course they ended, they've had a bit of a hiccup against Slovakia. 1-0 loss, actually, with the 2-1 win for the Scots. Where is that result? I don't see it. There it is. Of course it is. The goal scorer on the day was Jan Dubis on the score sheet for Slovakia as they took the 3 points. Same group out in League B Group 2. The Czechs 1-0 wins over Israel in the end. Actually, with a 2-1 win for the Czechs on that bad boy. The one go with Vladimir Darienda on the score sheet, with Hatem Al-Hamid getting himself sent off for the Israelis. Kicking on the back end here, Turkey against Russia. That ended up as a 3-2 win, 5-goal bonanza going in favour of Turkey, with goals Denis Cheryshev and Daria Kuzav getting goals for the Russians. Andrei Semenov as well, getting himself sent off. Meanwhile, Kenan Kanemanen and Singadiz Under and Cenk getting themselves the goals for Turkey in a 3-2 win. Same group, that is in League B Group 3. Hungary against Serbia ended up all square, 1-1. 2-1. Actually, I went with the 2-0 win myself on that one. The goal scorers on the day. Of course, it was everyone's favourite. Nemanja Radonovic on score sheet for Serbia, and Zonkin Šlaškarmar as well for Hungary. I got myself 2, 4, 6 on this one. Got 6 on this one, but of course, we're only halfway there, or just over halfway. Next up, we have Bulgaria taking on Finland. That is a 2-1 win for the Finland. So the Finnish, Teemu Pukki and Robin Lord on score sheet with Dimitar Iliev with a big fat penalty, giving the Finns a big fat win over Bulgaria. Actually, won the 0-0, so shame on me. Wales 1-0 winners over Ireland. David Brooks on score sheet on the 66th minute. Jeff Hendrick got himself sent off for the Irish. Actually, with a 3-1 win, so a little bit conservative for those folks. North Macedonia against Estonia ended up as a 2-1 win for the North Macedonians, who will be at the Euros, of course. 2-1 win. Ivan Tchaikovsky on swell, Vlatko Stojevsky on score sheet for North Macedonia. Rune Sapien on score sheet for Estonia as they lose, giving North Macedonia a big fat W. Meanwhile, Georgia, they lost to Armenia. 2-1 win in the end. Georgi Kalzavan as well. Sagios Agdamanyan with a big fat another goal as well to give Armenia a 2-1 win. Actually went and Valery Kwaziligzi getting themselves a goal for Georgia. Penalty spot on that bad boy. I actually went with a 1-0 win for Armenia. So did all right on that one. Did all right. Meanwhile, Moldova against Greece. That ended up as a 2-0 win for Greece. Yes, indeedio. Konstantinos Fontonis on score sheet with Astanis Badikakis as well with a 2-0 win for Greece. I actually went with a 0-0 draw on this one, so not the good one for me. Slovenia against Kosovo ended up as a 2-1 win for Slovenia. Called it as, absolutely called it. Goal scorers there. Jasmine Kirkic on score sheet, Justin Ilic as well. Murjancic as well. Meanwhile, wrapping these bad boys up in League C Group 4, Belarus against Lithuania was a 2-0 win for Belarus. Goal scorers on the day, Ervin Yavilovsky and Alfred Max Entebong Nagombe on the score sheet for Belarus. A traditional Belarusian name, that bad boy. And Albania, a 3-1 win over Kazakhstan. Zoki Kaliashki, Adrian Ishlali and Ray Manash on the score sheet for Albania, with Odio Abakin on the score sheet for Kazakhstan. I actually went with a 3-2 win for Albania. I got myself 2, 4, 6 on this one. So, yeah, that's how I got on. Should we have a little look at the groups then, shall we? Let's take a little look at the old group stages as we enter the final round of matches out in the Nations League. So let's jump in the deep end and have a little look-see then, shall we? So here we go, boys and girls. Let's take a look at the Nations group. So League A, Group 1, Italy lead the charge at the moment. Well, it's anyone's guess as well as this one's going to go, because it's a 3-horse race. Bosnia are relegated, nailed on, so they'll be going down, but it's winner takes all, really. Poland taking on the Netherlands. Well, I don't know who's taking on who. I'll have a look at that in a minute, but Poland, Netherlands and Italy is still in with a chance to get top billings and then a way through to the finals. Belgium 2 points clear over Denmark. England can't even do it. They're not even in the discussions between the Danes and the Belgians, of course, and they will be locking horns in a winner takes all match. That's for sure. England are nailed onto remaining Group A. Iceland are relegated. We already know about the France game, do we? Yes, we do. We talked about that yesterday. Or earlier. Germany against Spain, we talked about that as well. Austria against Norway, of course, there is that question mark about that other game, but Austria basically, they'll be playing the waiting game, it looks like, depending on what goes on in this final round of matches. Northern Ireland, though, they look like they're relegated. In fact, they probably are relegated. However, if they do win out big in the final game, they may have a bit of a waiting game themselves, because that group is all over the place. Or alles over the Platz, as they say in Germany. Scotland, they're still top of the pops at the moment over the Czechs, of course. The Czech Republic could still squeeze ahead of them into League A next time around, but Scotland have another driving seat, and they need to get themselves back to winning ways, put themselves into party mode, of course. Slovakia and Israel are battling out for that relegation spot at the moment, and hopefully both nations will give it their all to stick around next time. Russia against Russia and Hungary and Turkey still in with a chance to get themselves to top bananas, top billing out of League B. Again, all will come to a conclusion after match number 6. Wales and Finland lead the charge out in League B Group 4. Yep, again, there's nothing decided there. Not even the relegation spot. Ireland and Bulgaria scrapping out to avoid that certainty as well. North Macedonia and Armenia and Georgia still into contention with League C Group 2. Estonia, they're relegated. They are down. They are out. League C Group 3, Slovenia lead the charge at the moment over Greece. That's the only matter decided there. Kosovo and Moldova still duking out again for the relegation spot in League C Group 4. Belarus lead the charge over there. Albania still in with a chance as well, with Lithuania still got mathematically a chance to finishing in 2nd or 4th. It's still I can believe it. It's so crazy just how, you know, we're coming right to the final game, and pretty much a lot of things, if not all things, are still on the cards. Nothing's nailed on right now, so it's a big old question mark, and we'll hopefully get a little bit of a clear indication of what we think is going to happen at the end of it after these videos, after this picks, then, shall we? Well, let's get into it. Of course, take a little look at your picks and all that kind of jazz. So here we go. Again, a little bit of I've got a bit of a disclaimer here coming at you. 0 to 6, you're in the shit face gang. 7 to 14, you're in the straight face. 15 plus, you're in the top bins. So here we go. Rushki did okay. Ivan Stringer, not too shabby. Hack Kakachan did bits. Olaji Ojo, well done, brother. Well done indeed. Not too shabby. We are QPR, did okay. Welsh Design did poop. Blasio also shite. Adrios, not too shabby. Extra X with an edit, not too bad. And Master Fighter did okay. Meanwhile, A Judy did okay. Bianca Mulner, well done to you. Now, I think these are predictions over the course of 2 days, so her score will be a little bit more elevated, perhaps, than everyone else's, but we'll see. Matt Gunner did bits. He did shite, actually. iCarly also did shocking. Fernando Jose Garcia with an edit, not too bad. Elgin Cow, well done, brother. Not too bad indeed. Gio's channel did okay. Nathan Evo, not too bad as well. Well done, brother. Well done, brother. Club Skills did okay, even with a small amount of picks there. Yannick also did bits. Jonathan Liu, he did smashing. No edit in sight. He hit a home runner. Massimus Alajaji did okay with an edit. Declan did okay. Not too bad. Costas K, he did okay as well with no edit in sight. Well done to you, brother. Alex Weller also did bits. Luka Kajanovic also with a home run as well, with a 1 day pick, though. That's very borderline. I don't know when that took place, because I don't know when I screenshot that bad. But Hans Worst, he did very well with a home bloody run. Meanwhile, Omar Esquivel, the Mexican sniper, did bits. Shane O'Donnell, not too shabby as well. Well done to you. Gamer Charlie with an edit. He did all right. Zigger Z did bits. Nicola Mucas, not too shabby. Simon Rex, well done to you as well. Neil Galilei, he did okay. In fact, better than okay. He did very well as well. I think this is it. So let's take a little look at the leaderboard. So here we go. Jonathan Lowe, Neil Galilei lead the charge at the moment with a 16 impressive score. Bianca Moore again with an elevated scoreline a little bit, taking some of the picks from last time around to this time around. I think she got 15. There is a small margin of error in these picks today, because I just realised that I may have got one result wrong, or in my head as I was counting them up, because it's all by hand, lads, all by hands. So there might be an error rate of 1 on these, but for the most part, I think if there is an error rate, the most of you guys did pick the same result, but the result went the other way. So I just want to say that there's a small margin of error, but to be honest with you, it's going to take a matter, depending on if it goes to like the old presidential election, all that recounts and all that at the end of it. If there's such a fine margin between the winners and the losers, or the first and second, we'll have to go back and take a little look at the results for this one, because we want to make sure that as an overall prediction king. But here is currently your actual prediction king or queen out in the Nations League. Well, bow down to Jonathan Liu and Costas K. And as it is a very tight-knit race. So they are your current kingpin. So if it comes back down to this, then at the end of the predictions shows, which will be the conclusion of the Nations League, which will of course include the semi-finals and the final, which will probably take place in 2021. And if it's still neck and neck, or if there's 1 point between the two predictors, we'll have to come back and revisit 5.2. Make a mental note of that, people. Jonathan Liu, Costas K especially, because at the moment you are right in the contention for top billings. But of course, that could all change after match day number 6.1 and 6.2. Because we've got the latest backs of picks now coming at you. So here we bloody well go. Where are they? Where's my informazione? We're going to kick it all off with Bosnia-Herzegovina taking on Italy. Now, these two nations have played each other 4 times in the past. 1 win for Bosnia, 2 wins for Italy, and 1 draw, of course. The last time played each other was, in fact, in Italy. It was a 1-1 draw. And, of course, in the Nations League back in September 2020. It was a 1-1 draw back in the day. Stefan Sensi on the score sheet for Italy. Equaliser, of course. Edin Dzeko opened up the scoring on the 57th minute. Last time played each other in Bosnia was a 3-0 win for Italy back in November 2019. Francesco Arcerbi with Lorenzo Insigne and Andrea Bellotti on the score sheet in a 3-0 convincing win for Italy and the Euro Championships, of course. Heading into this, Italy top the pops at the moment out in League A Group 1, ahead of the likes of Bosnia. Who else have they got in there? Poland and the Duchies, of course. They are actually on 9 points, 2 wins and 3 draws so far, yet to taste defeat. And they come into this on the back of a win, of course, against the Poland's last time around. Meanwhile, Bosnia coming to this back-to-back defeats for them, losing to Netherlands and, of course, losing to Poland. So they're there for the taking, of course. I do expect them to probably lose this one. Quick look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? 32 for Bosnia, 11-4 on for Italy, 4-1 is your draw. What do we have on this one then? Of course, Italy must win, basically. If they win, they're through, and that's what I've gone with. I've actually, surprise, pulled the wool from under your eyes. It is a draw. I've gone with a draw here to really put a cat amongst the pigeons and maybe leave this as a bit of a guessing game to see who I think will go through. So 1-1 draw there, surprise there for me. I completely forgot I went with that one, but I've gone with a point for Bosnia, and again, to end the campaign strongly. Next up, Bosnia, opponent up against Netherlands. Now, these two nations have played each other in the past 16 times, 3 wins for the Polskis, 7 wins for the Dutchies, and 6 draws, of course, the last 3. So sees 3 wins out of 3 for the Dutchies, including a win last round in the Old Nations League, which was a 1-0 win for the Dutchies in Dutchlands. Stephen Berge went on the score sheet back in September. Meanwhile, last they played each other in Poland was back in June 2016. It was a friendly. It was a 2-1 win for the Dutchies as well. Vincent Janssen and Jorginho Wijnaldum on the score sheet with Andrea Djurjevic on the score sheet for Poland. Heading into this, the Dutchies are unbeaten in 3, picking up 2 draws and a win. The one and only defeat was against Italy, but they sit themselves in a second spot. Meanwhile, the Polskis coming to this in third spot, picking up 2 defeats so far in the campaign, but a win for them and a draw perhaps for Italy could open up the floodgates and maybe squeeze Poland through. They come into this, of course, losing the last game against Italy, but before that they were unbeaten in 3 games, picking up 2 wins and a draw to boot. Quick look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? What do we have on this? We have 5-2 for the Poles and the Polskis, 5-2 draw, 21-20 for the Dutchies. They are the favourites on this one. A win for the Dutchies and possibly a draw for Italy will see the Dutchies go through. I've gone with a 2-1 win for Poland. Oh my goodness, cat amongst the pigeons. That could possibly send Poland through to the next stages. I don't know. Goal difference will come into it. Again, you just have to wait and see. Be patient. Be patient, laddios. Next up, we have England taking on the Danes, of course. Denmark are in the driving seat. It's not. It's Belgium against Denmark. Whoa. Belgium against Denmark, of course. These two nations played each other 14 times in the past. 5 wins for Belgium, 6 wins for Denmark, and 3 draws, of course. The last 2 sees 1 win for Belgium, 1 draw, and no wins for the Danes. Last time I played each other was in the Nations League. It was a 2-0 win for Belgium back in September. It was a 2-0 win. Jason Denayer and Dries Mertens on the score sheet. Of course, he scored it against England the other day. However, last time I played each other in Belgium, I just don't bloody know. I don't know the results. It's been a while. It's been a while since I played each other in Belgium. I do expect Belgium to be the favourites. Anyway, heading into this, the Belgians coming to this back-to-back wins for them, picking up wins against England and, of course, Iceland. On the flip side, Denmark are unbeaten in 3, or they're actually unbeaten in 4, but winning 3 games on the spin, beating Iceland, beating England, and beating Iceland again. They come to sit just 2 points up with two nations. And again, winner takes all. Win for Denmark. Guess what? They are through to the finals or the semi-finals, or whatever you want to call it. 30-8 for Belgium for the victory. 92 is your away win. That is Denmark. 14-5 is your draw. I like Belgium. Denmark are one of those teams. You either love them or they're just there. You know what I mean? They're there. They can be beat. They can beat you on any given day, but they can also get tanked on this one. But I think Belgium at home, the familiar surroundings, they will come out convincingly 3-0 and go through to the Nations League final, where they're likely to see Poland there, maybe, or Italy, or the Dutchies. Who bloody knows? Meanwhile, dead rubber here for the most part. Anyway, England taking on Iceland, and this will be the 5th time that these two nations have played. 2 was for England, 1 for Iceland, and 1 draw. It might be a rotated squad here for England because they've got nothing to play for. They're coming to this in 3rd spot. They're out of the question. They can't get relegated. They can't go up. But anyway, the last time I played was in Iceland. It was a 1-0 win for England back in September. It was a 1-0 win. Raheem Sterling from the penalty spot. Carl Walker and Sven-Geir Ingesson get themselves sent off. 2 different events there, not related. Back to both of them got yellow cards. England come into this for the first time in the Nations League, back-to-back defeats, losing to Denmark, losing to Belgium. Of course, can they end their campaign with a victory against Iceland? Of course. Meanwhile, the Icelanders have had an absolute nightmare Nations League, losing all the games, not doing very, very well for themselves. Look at the bookies odds. I'm sure England are favourites to 11-2. Yes, they are. 11-2 is your draw. So it's 11-2 on for England for the victory. 11-2 is your draw. 14-1 is Iceland for the big fat victory and the upset. I don't think it's going to happen though. I think regardless of who England put out there, England will come out on top of the 2-0 win, and maybe a chance for the fringe guys to get some goals, get some games under the belts. Next up we have Austria against Norway, or do we? I don't know. I thought Norway's last game was postponed. Maybe COVID, I don't know. So this may or may not go ahead. We'll see. But anyway, they played each other 11 times in the past. 8 wins for Austria. Austria. Let's have combined Austria and Norway there. Austria. 2 wins for Norway and 1 draw. Of course, the last 6, in fact, scrap that, the last 2, sees 1 win apiece. Of course, last time picture was in Norway. It was a 2-1 win for Austria. That's right, the goal scorers on the day, Marko Guskaric and Marcel Sabitzer as well, and score sheet for Austria with Erling Haaland getting the 1-0 goal for Norway. However, last time picture that in Norway was a 1-0 win for, last time picture that in Austria was a 1-0 win for Norway. That's right, back in 2002. Pa Muduka. That's a cool name, isn't it? Is it a Norwegian name? Like a proper, that's a strange old name. Pa Muduba. There he is. Is he still plays? No, he's old. He's packed it in. He was actually born in the Gambia. He's actually coach of Canadian Premier League team Pacific FC. Is that right? Yes, it is. Cool bits. Anyway, the last time they head into this, of course, Austria top of the pops at the moment, 12 points on the board. Norway actually mathematically can still win this. Again, they have a game in hand, so they could be waiting in the wings to see if they get promoted at the end of it. Anyway, coming into this, Austria, 3 wins on the spin for them. Same can be said for Norway in regards to the Nations League, picking up 3 wins on the spin as well. I'm not too sure if this game will take place, but we'll have a look at the odds, and that'll give us an indication if it will take place. If we don't see any odds, guess what? I don't think it's happening. I don't see any odds, folks. I don't think it's happening, but I'll let you know what I think anyway, just for giggles. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for Austria if the game was to take place, but I don't think it will. So we'll have to wait and see. Next up, we have Northern Ireland taking on Romania. Now, these two nations played each other 7 times in the past. 3 wins for Northern Ireland, 2 wins for Romania, and 2 draws, of course. The last 4 sees 2 wins for Romania, nothing for Northern Ireland, and 2 draws, including a draw last time around in Romania back in September. It was a 1-1 draw. Gavin White on the score sheet, actually equalising for Northern Ireland. George Pushkas, of course, Reading striker, opening up the scoring for Romania. Josh McGuinness got himself sent off back in the day. However, last time I played each other in Northern Ireland was in the European Championship qualifying campaign back in 2015. It was a new draw. Coming into this, Northern Ireland back-to-back, in fact 4 defeats on the spin for them, as of course they're licking their wounds as well, having suffered their Euro 2020 elimination. So maybe all eyes was on that, but unfortunately they come into this bottom of the pops. They look like, in fact, they probably are relegated. In fact, mathematically though, they do have a chance if they were to become victorious over Romania. Goal difference and all that, they have to have a bit of a swing to oust Romania and put them in the relegation spots. But if they win, guess what? The food or the seed of doubt will be put in Romania's mind. They come into this back-to-back defeats for them, though, Romania losing to Norway and losing to Austria, of course. Look at the bookies' odds on this one then, shall we? Northern Ireland 15-8 for the victory, 29-24. Romania 11-5 is your draw. I think Northern Ireland will get something out of this, but it's not going to be enough. I'm going to go with a 0-0 draw. Of course, the wind is out of their sails, but I think they'll grind something out. And I think for Romania, realistically, a draw will be just enough to keep them moving, keep keeping on. Next up, we have the Czech Republic up against Slovakia. Of course, formerly one country. Now, these two nations locking horns for the 14th time, the previous 13. 8 wins for the Czechs, 3 wins for the Slovakians, and 2 draws. Of course, the last 6, though, sees 4 wins for the Czechs, 1 win for Slovakia, and 1 draw, including a win last time around for the Czechs in the Nations League in Slovakia, 3-1 win back in September. Vladimir Kufal on score sheet, Borek Dokal with Markel Kimikinic as well. Ivan Sanch getting on the score sheet for Slovakia as they lost at home. Meanwhile, last time played in the Czech Republic was a 1-0 win back in 2018, also in the Nations League. Patrick Schick on the score sheet for the Czechs as they made it 1, 2, 3 wins on the spin against their nearest and dearest. Heading into this, of course, Slovakia bottom of the pops at the moment, but a win could probably keep them up, depending on what goes on with the Israeli-Scotland game. But anyway, Slovakia come into this just 1 win in the past 4. They did beat Scotland last time round. On the flip side, the Czechs come into this 2 wins in the past 4 games, picking up 2 wins and 2 defeats along the way. Czech Republic's coming into this with 9 points on the board. Just 1 point adrift of Scotland. Heading into this, the bookies odds on this one, 50-8 for the Czechs. They are the favourites. 3-1 is draw. 26-5 is Slovakia, of course. So the Czechs are favourites for this one. I think I've also gone them to get something out of this. You just don't know with the Czechs. You don't know what team they're going to play out. They've been flip-flopping around, of course, with the old COVID. This one's at home though, so I don't know. We may see a full strength side here. We'll have to wait and see. But the point in my eyes, it ain't going to be good enough. So regardless of what goes on with the Scotch game, they might just come out top of the pops. Of course, I'm wearing the team colours right now. So next time we have Israel against Scotland. Of course, these two nations played each other 7 times in the past. 4 wins for Scotland, 1 win for Israel, and 2 draws, of course. Last time played each other, in fact, the last 4 sees 2 wins for Scotland, 1 win for Israel, and 1 draw. Last time played each other was in the Nations League. It's just so confusing. Anyway, they did play each other quite a few times in the past 2 years, and Scotland losing one of them, and that was all the way back in Israel. The last time I played in Israel, it was a victory for Israel. That's what I'm trying to say. Last time I played in Israel was a 2-1 win for Israel. Dora Peretz on scoring with Kieran Tierney, the big fat OG. Charlie Mulgrew, of course, ex-Rover, or current Rover, on loan. He scored for the penalty spot. John Suter got himself sent off. Scotland suffered defeat. Scotland coming to this, of course, on the losing form against Slovakia, but before that, 3 wins on the spin. Israel coming to this 1 win the past 4 games. They might fancy their chances, actually, Israel, on this one. Quickly look at the bookies odds on this one, then, shall we? What do we have on this? We have do we have it? Israel 70-10 for the victory, 11-5 draw, 8-5 for Scotland. They are favourites, and basically a win for Scotland. They go through to promotion to, what is it, Group A? Bloody Nora, would you believe? Would you Adam and Eve it? I'm going to go with a win for Scotland. I believe they should take their positivity from the, of course, qualifying for the Euros into this game and basically put a new benchmark in Scottish football, because they're in the Euros, they're there, that can't be taken away from them. They're now going to hopefully have a chance to go into the Nations League Group A, playing along some of the big nations, your Englands, your Belgiums, your Germanys, your Spains, that sort of stuff. They'll get their asses kicked, but still they'll be mixing it up with the big boys. Moving on to Hungary against Turkey. Let's get into this one. Whoop. Next up, we have Hungary taking on Turkey. Let's take a look at this one then, shall we? Of course, they played each other 13 times. There's about 7 wins for Hungary, 4 wins for Turkey, and 2 draws. The last 5 sees 2 wins apiece and 1 draw. Last time the picture was in Turkey. It was back in September 2020. It was a 1-0 win for Hungary. Dominic Szoboszlai on the score sheet for Hungary. Last time the picture in Hungary was a 3-1 win for Hungary as well. Back in the World Cup qualifying campaign for 2012 it was. Vladimir Koman on score sheet, Adman Salzai with Zoltan Gira, of course, ex-Baggies man there, but Erdonich on score sheet for Turkey. Heading into this, Hungary coming to this in second. Of course, I think, well, who else is in this group? Serbia and Russia. It's a very tight-knit group. Again, nothing settled here, but Hungary coming to this 8 points on the board, Turkey coming to this with 6. Hungary unbeaten in 3 games, of course, picking up 2 draws and a win so far. Meanwhile, Turkey coming to this just 1 defeat the whole campaign. They come to this unbeaten in 4 games. Bloody well hell. The bookies are 70-10 for Hungary, 23-10 is your draw, 31-20 is your away win. That is for Turkey. Turkey have been here, but they've not really been impressive so far. People in the comments have said we've seen their rotated squad or their B team or their fringe players trying to get some action, and it's not going to be the team that's going to be at the Euros next season, next summer, whatever. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw on this one. Again, doesn't really too much on this one. I think, to be honest with you, I think Russia have got this one nailed on. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Serbia taking on, of course, Russia. These 2 nations played each other 5 times in the past. 3 wins for Russia, 2 draws, nothing for Serbia. Of course, Serbia licking their wounds, of course, from that defeat from Scotland. They come into this having lost, the last time they played each other was in Russia. These 2 nations, of course, back in September, it was a 3-1 win for Russia back in the day. Who scored on that day? Andrei Zuba on score sheet with a couple of goals. Vashev, Kaviev as well, with Alexander Mitrov goal on score sheet for Serbia. Last time they played each other in Serbia was I don't even know. I don't even think they've actually played each other in Serbia. Regardless, Serbia coming to this just 1 defeat the past 4. Same can be said for Russia. In fact, Russia coming to this 3 games without a win, picking up 2 draws and a defeat to boot. Serbia might have a little bit of a score to settle here. They come into this 13-8 for the victories, 11-5 is your draw, 70-10 is your away win. Of course, Russia is so close to becoming champions of this group or winners. I've gone with again, and Serbia will be knocked with that lack of confidence at the moment with that Euro 2020 final playoff still ringing in the rear. So I'm going with a 2-0 win for Russia on this bad boy. Next up, we have Ireland up against Bulgaria. Let's take a look at this bad boy then, shall we? Now, these 2 nations have played each other 12 times in the past. 4 wins for Ireland, 3 wins for Bulgaria, and 5 draws, of course. The last 5 sees 1 for Ireland, nothing for Bulgaria, and 4 draws, including a draw last time around in Bulgaria in the Nations League back in September. It was a 1-1 draw. Bocinar Krayev on the score sheet for Bulgaria. Shane Duffy, of course, over there, 93rd minute equaliser. Meanwhile, last time they played each other in Ireland was in a friendly back in 2019. It was a 3-1 win for Ireland. Brown, Long, and James Collins on the score sheet for Ireland, with Avian Popov getting himself a penalty to give themselves a bit of a consolation. Heading into this, though, Ireland look absolutely shite at the moment. 3 defeats and a draw to boot. On the flip side, Bulgaria even worse. But relegation still in the cards. And again, a defeat basically would send you down into League C in the Nations League. Ireland don't belong there. Probably Bulgaria don't really belong there, but we'll see what comes out of it. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? What do we have on this then? Bulgaria are 4-1 underdogs, 6-4 on Republic of Ireland. Are your favourites? 11-4 is your draw. Basically, winner takes all on this one. I'm going to give it to Ireland. They've not had the best of luck, but I think they'll get end their campaign with a win and again remain out in this respective group. Next up, we have Wales up against Finland, a battle of the big boys, I guess. These two nations played each other 13 times in the past. 5 wins for the Welsh, 4 wins for the Finns, and 4 draws. The last 6, so 2 wins apiece and 2 draws. Wales coming to this 13 points out of a possible, 15. The Finns also 12 points out of a possible 15, and only 1 defeat for Finland compared to Wales' unbeaten record so far. They're coming to this. Last time I played each other in Finland was a 1-0 win for the Welsh. Kiefer Moore on the score sheet on the 80th minute. Last time I played each other in Wales was a friendly back in 2013. It was a 1-1 draw. Andy King and Riku Rixi. What a cool name that is. We'll Google that son of a gun. Where's he playing these days? Riku Risky. He sounds like a wrestler. Riku Risky. He's only 31 years of age and he plays for Finnish club HJK Helsinki. Still playing, still in the game. Of course, the Finns coming to this 4-game unbeaten run, 4-game winning run. Of course, they must have lost Matchday number 1. Meanwhile, the Welsh are picking up 3 wins and a draw to boot in the past 4 games heading into this. It's going to be tight, this one. Both two teams, of course, buoyed on by the fact that they're going to the Euros. So they'll be locking on 65 on. Wales are your favourites. 10-3 is your underdogs. That is the Finns. 5-2 is your draw on this one. I'm going to go probably with Wales on this one. They've been good. They've been grinding out. Of course, again, picking up results with Giggs out of action for the time being. Of course, main manager. But still, they managed to get a result last time around. So I'm going to go 2-1 win for the Welsh on that bad boy. Next up, we have Armenia taking on North Macedonia. Again, now Armenia are there in the Euros, so they'll be there next season. Take a look at these bad boys. These two nations have played each other 9 times in the past. 3 wins for Armenia, 4 wins for North Macedonia, and 2 draws, of course. The last 6, so 2 wins for Armenia, 3 for North Macedonia, and 1 draw. Last time I played each other was in North Macedonia. It was a 2-1 win for North Macedonia, with the goals come from Adrian Adrieski on the score sheet, Ilya Nistrovsky as well, penalty, with Kligan Barashian on the score sheet for Armenia. All penalties on that one. However, last time I played each other in Armenia was a 4-0 win for Armenia back in the Nations League, of course, the previous one. Pezeli, Molishan, Garzan, and Mkhitaryan on score sheet for Armenia as they smashed took the 3 points. Ilminus get himself sent off. Heading into this, though, both nations unbeaten in the past 4 games. Macedonia currently sit top of the pops out in Nations League C Group 2. 1 point separate, though, them between them and Armenia, so it's all on the table for this bad boy. What do we think on this one, on the odds, if the game is going to take place? 90-10 for Armenia, 21-10 is your draw, 64 is your away win for North Macedonia. North Macedonia are going to be buoyed with the fact that they're going to Euros. They're going to get a draw, and I think that draw will probably keep them in the tip-top shape, I think. Well, I think that'll do it. We'll have to wait and see. Georgia taking on Estonia. Let's take a look at these bad boys then, shall we? In fact, let me just double-check that. North Macedonia, yeah, draw for North Macedonia. They seal the bloody deal, I think. Well, anyway, these two nations, Georgia against Estonia, they played each other 7 times in the past. 4 wins for Georgia, 2 wins for Estonia, and 1 draw. The last 5 sees 3 wins for Georgia, 2 wins for 1 win for Estonia, and 1 draw. Last time I played each other was in Estonia. It was a 1-0 win for Georgia. Nika Kashaja on score sheet for Georgia. Meanwhile, last time I played each other in Georgia was a friendly back in 2018. It was also a win for Georgia. Coming into this, though, both nations without a win in 4. Goodness gracious me. However, Georgia just 1 win, 1 defeat the past 4 as well. The previous 3, though, were draws. They come into this 6 points on the board. Mathematically, I think they could still possibly do a favour here and actually leapfrog everybody else. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think so. I think they might just be a little bit short. But if they come out on top with a victory over Estonia, they could be in the discussion. Anyway, meanwhile, coming into this, Estonia just 2 defeats in the past 4 as well, picking up 2 draws as well. So there's not many wins on there. Maybe they're just not used to winning. So I don't know if we're going to get a win out of these two anyway. Look at the bookies odds on this one. 50-8 for Georgia. They are the favourites. 3-1 is your draw. 6-1 is your away win. That is Estonia. Georgia there? I think Georgia were in the Euros already. I can't really remember now. Can't remember if they made it. But I'm going to go with a Georgia victory on this one with a 2-1 win to take it to the house and really put that group right in amongst the discussion to see if they go through. I don't know, or promoted or whatever. Greece up against Slovenia. Of course, now these two nations played each other in the past 6 times. It's 3 wins for Greece, nothing for Slovenia, and 3 draws. The last 2 sees 2 draws, in fact. Draw in Slovenia, 0-0 back in September. Meanwhile, last time played each other in Greece was in 2012. It was a 1-1 draw. Vasilis Troidonis on score sheet with Jasmine Kurtic score sheet for Slovenia. Pagodonis Cone getting himself sent off for Greece. Heading into this, Slovenia actually looking very, very good out in group, whatever this is, Group C, Group 3, whatever. 4 wins on the spin for them, of course, during their opening match. Meanwhile, Greece coming to this also unbeaten as well. 2 points separate the two sides in the table. Again, win for Greece. Guess what? They go through as promotion contenders on this one. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? Greece, 4-3 on Stone Cold favourites, 25 is your draw, 4-1 is your away win. That is Slovenia on this one. Greece look good at the moment. I think they're going to take it with a 2-1 win to the house. Moving on to the same group, Kosovo against Moldova. these two nations have played each other just the one time, and it was a draw. Of course, it was earlier in the campaign. It was a 1-1 draw back in Moldova. That's right. Goal scorers Ian Nikolakoscu on the score sheet for Moldova, Benjamin Knolly on the score sheet for Kosovo. Heading into this, though, Moldova just actually 4 defeats on the spin for them. Heading into this, meanwhile, Kosovo picking up a couple of draws along the way, but realistically, they've been out of the discussion for a long time. Look at the bookies' odds on this one then, shall we? What do we have on this one? Do we have actually odds on this one? We do. It's 3-1 on. Kosovo are your favourites. 15-4 is your draw. 8-1 is your long shots. That's Moldova. So they are completely out of the woods on this one. I think Kosovo won. Oh my goodness, what have I gone with a 0-0 draw? Shame on me. Maybe they just don't give a shite at the moment. Yeah, it's COVID. They're not going anywhere. But realistically, there was a lot to fight for this one because loser will go relegated. That's right. But I've gone with a draw. I think Moldova will grind something out of this. But don't put your money on it though. That's one that I'm not really convinced on. Move on. Albania taking on Belarus. These two nations played each other 6 times in the past, 2 wins apiece and 2 draws. Of course, last time played each other was in fact in Belarus. It was a 2-0 win for Albania. That's right. Back in September, of course, in lockdown. Soliako Kalkasaki on score sheet with Kalyerabare as well for Albania. Meanwhile, last time played each other in Albania was a 1-0 win for Albania as well. In fact, they're unbeaten in 3 occasions against Belarus, losing last time around in 2010, 10 years ago in Belarus. Meanwhile, heading into this, Belarus coming up top of the pops, 10 points out of a possible 15 for them. Albania coming to sit in second and a win for them in this match. Guess what? They can leapfrog Belarus in the process. It's all on the table. Heading into this, Belarus unbeaten in 4 games, picking up 3 wins and a draw to boot. Meanwhile, Albania unbeaten in 3, picking up 2 draws and a win also to boot as well. Look at the bookies' odds on this one then, shall we? We have 2017 on Albania are your favourites, 5-2 is your 10-3 is your away win. That is Belarus. Belarus.com. Albania will take it with a 2-0 win in the end. And again, bloody hell, that just puts them tip of the top and of course on their way to promotion. Kazakhstan taking on Lithuania. Of course, now these two nations played each other just twice. There's been 1 win for Kazakhstan and a draw. Anyway, last time played each other in Lithuania. Anyway, the last time played each other was in fact in Lithuania. It was a 2-0 win for Kazakhstan, and they've not yet played in Kazakhstan before, so this will be the one and only occasion that they've played. Anyway, Lithuania come into this with 5 points out of a possible 15. Kazakhstan are rooted to the bottom of the group. Of course, relegation will put them in amongst the San Marinos and co. Kazakhstan come into this with 4 points on the board. Anyway, heading into this, who is this? Lithuania come into this, just 1 defeat the past 4. That was losing to Belarus last time around. Meanwhile, Kazakhstan without a win in 4, coming into this with the last victory all the way back in September against Lithuania. So the one and only victory in this group for Kazakhstan was against Lithuania. Get in there. Get in your veins. Look at the bookies odds on this one. 65 for Kazakhstan. They are the Stone Cold favourites. 5-2 is draw. 10-3 is your away win. Basically, winner avoids the drop. And I've gone with a 1-0 win for the Kazakhstanis, boys and girls. That's what I think will happen in the final group games out in the Nations League. And again, we'll be continuing this, an overview of this as we get closer to the semi-finals and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully we'll have an updated look at the Nations League, Prediction League then. But if you want to become and take a little look at the sneak peek and become patrons, you can have access to the data and all the other bits and pieces, all the other leagues by doing just that. So make sure you check out the link down below, patreon.com/overseas. Then you can get your hands on the data and you can know who is in control, because you won't have to wait the months and months and months to find out until we come back again for this one. And also you'll get to see what other prediction leagues are out there, what other prediction leagues there will be maybe in the future, because this is a massive document, and then you'll realise, and they'll feel sorry for me how much pain I go through each and every match day as I try to keep up with the heat. Anyway, also make sure you check out the other links down there, Twitter, Twitch. I'm trying to get the numbers up on Twitch. I think we're up to 150 now. We're trying to get up to 250 by the end of the 2020. Hopefully you guys can spur that on, and we'll have to wait and see. But until then, though, be sure to give the video some love and smash the thumbs up, smash subscribe. Of course, this does wrap up the group stages, but we'll be back for the finals and we'll revisit these picks and of course the other ones that we saw the other day or earlier today. But that's it, my friends. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Until then, though, be sure to give the video some love and smash the thumbs up, smash subscribe, and I'll see you all very, very soon.